Good morning, beloveds. So I missed yesterday. What I missed yesterday, no, hang on, I didn't miss yesterday, I did yesterday. But what I missed yesterday was the cat's favorite holiday in the calendar. Yesterday was Boxing Day, which is an English holiday, and it has a variety of meanings. So, if you're interested, please look up Boxing Day. But, from the cat standpoint, they're all about the boxes. So Boxing Day. So happy Boxing Day. Okay. One of the things about it is it's because the servants in the UK, traditionally they worked Christmas. And so Boxing Day was their day off, their day to celebrate Christmas with their family and have Christmas dinner with their family. So that's just a brief thing. There's a lot more to it. So please feel free to look it up. All right. It is December 25th. We are fast running out of year here. Although I still have 3 months of the book to go. Cause remember I start these in April. But it is December 25th. Our title is Begin Enjoying Your Heaven Now. The first quote is, "Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of God, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of God." And that is 1 Corinthians 2:12. And then the second quote is, "New thoughts create new conditions. We must learn to think in the absolute. This means to think independently of any given experience or effect. Judge not according to appearances. This thought strikes away the shackles of bondage and finds a new cause at work." And that is Science of Mind, page 406. The person who lives spiritually does not live much differently from others, except they have fewer problems, and those few they do have seem to resolve themselves. It's not that some people are more spiritual by nature than others. Some are just more aware of their inner divinity. We are all spiritual beings, and no one has more of God in them than anyone else. However, we can develop a greater awareness of our God nature, and this is the goal we must pursue if we wish to change our lives for the better. There is a way to begin now to become more aware of God in ourselves and in others. That way is open to everyone and requires no special talent, but we must be determined and willing to spend time at it. Ernest Holmes said, "Being spiritual means thinking in a way which transcends our limited concepts." Therefore, we can become more spiritual by realizing the truths of ourselves, entertaining only those beliefs which will manifest in our life as health, harmony, happiness, abundance, beauty, and love. Gabby is yearning for something, I'm not sure what. Deliberately now, I turn away from the worldly problems and consider what it means to be a part of God. Divine love in me transforms my thought. I am loved and loving. I am one with perfect health, abundance, and harmony. In me and through me, God creates a heaven on earth now. And that is MD. That is Mary Donnelson. So I think my favorite line in here is that we are all spiritual beings and no one has more of God in them than anyone else. All right. Because that's the truth. Hey, baby. That's the truth. We're all spiritual beings. We all have the same amount of God in us. No one is more godly. What people have is more awareness or less awareness. And that is the point of spiritual practice. I know I say it a lot. It's like the point of spiritual practice is to cultivate that awareness, to cultivate that belief. Jesse said something on Sunday that really struck me. It's when you put action in your beliefs, when you act on your beliefs, you cement those beliefs into place. You cement them, your beliefs have far more power when you're acting on them. And so, and that's what Mary Donnelson is talking about today. She's talking about, it's like, look, you are divine by nature. Act as if you are divine by nature. Practice your divinity, practice your divine nature, practice your connection with God. Make regular trips to the source of your own being, and your life will be better because you will stop focusing on material appearances and see the truth behind it, see the reality behind it, see the good in the situation, see the God in the situation. And you will be more likely to focus on that. One of the quotes was kind of that principle is not bound by precedent. It's like we can have all of these experiences, but then when we turn and focus on our more divine nature, these experiences no longer are relevant to our life, and they will slowly cease to happen. I say slowly. It depends on how radical of a shift you make in your life. Because if you make a radical shift, then, they might stop completely. Like that. But that's just it. As you work the spiritual practice, as you lean into your divine nature, as you lean into your Christ consciousness, you're no longer focusing on these things. They may still be happening, but they are no longer the bulk of your experience. They're more sidelined. And eventually you will come to the time where you will cease to notice them. I don't think I can say it any more clearly than that. There's a lot of things that happen around me that no longer affect my life because I've leaned into the good in my life. I've leaned into the divine in my life. So, yes, these things still happen, but they no longer rattle me off my track. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Yes, things happen, but when they happen, it's like, okay, that happened, and I can keep going. It doesn't shatter me to the point that I can't do anything anymore. I can keep moving. And that really is, I think that's one of the things that people, it's like, it's not that things stop happening. It's just they no longer take us off track anymore. And that's kind of and ideally, once everybody gets, to the same spiritual level, things will stop happening. Once we see each other as, beloved children of God, and we recognize the Spirit in each other, then a whole lot of things we'll stop doing. It's like, oh, I recognize that life, and that life is important. And, this action harms that life, so I'm not going to do that anymore. That kind of thing. That's the world we're working towards. But what we can do is work on ourselves. And as we work on ourselves, one of the really things is like when bad things happen, it's like, okay, I know what to do. I've got that inner guidance. I have worked my process. I know who I am. And it no longer shatters us to the point of stillness. We can keep moving and keep getting done what we need to get done. And I'm not saying stillness is a bad thing because, but when things happen and we need to take action, we are no longer shattered to stillness. And we are able to respond to things instead of react to things. Huge difference, and it's all about consciousness. So, all right. She was talking about living in heaven now. Begin your heaven now. And that's what I was talking about. It's like when things happen, it doesn't knock you out of your heaven. You are able to take appropriate action while maintaining your peace, your joy, your comfort. Yes, these things have happened. And yes, I am going to take action and do what is mine to do about this, but I am still allowed to be peaceful. I am still allowed to be comfortable. I am still allowed to be joyful. I am still allowed to be happy. And, in my happiness, in my peacefulness, I can make room for the other things. I can make room for sadness. I can make room for grief. I can make room for anger. But it no longer consumes me. There's a place for all of those emotions in heaven. but they no longer consume you. And that is the secret. And that is the point of regular spiritual practice, so that you can maintain your equilibrium, allow those feelings to move through you, to experience them in the measure that is yours to do. And that being an important thing, because sometimes we take on sadness and grief and anger beyond what is ours to do, and that's one of those things that rattles us out of heaven. So, yeah. So there's room for those in there, but they don't take you out. They don't consume you anymore. And I think that's the point that she's trying to make, and that is definitely the point that I am trying to make. So, the mission today, should we choose to accept it, I'm going to go back to that line that I loved so much. The line is that we are all spiritual beings, and no one has more of God in them than anyone else. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to develop a greater awareness of our God nature. That's the mission. All right. And there are a multitude of ways to do that, all of which fall under the heading of spiritual practice. And if you've been watching at any time at all, I've given you a list of spiritual practices, treatment and meditation and reading sacred literature and listening to sacred literature and listening to people talk about sacred literature and reading what people have written about sacred literature and music and, all of that. Those are all spiritual practices. And the one that I suggest every day of the spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself. If we want to talk about heaven, part of heaven is self-care, and part of self-care is making room for joy. So that's a two-sided coin. And self-care looks like taking a deep breath before you speak. Self-care looks like taking a nap, taking a walk, taking a week off from your physical exercise, which I just did. And yesterday it was too cold and I wasn't going to deal with it. And today I went for a walk. That's that is that spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, kind for yourself, compassionate for yourself. But sometimes it looks like eating dessert first. Sometimes it looks like accepting that Christmas cookie. You can be good all you want, but every now and again you deserve a cookie. All right. I love cookies. So, that I'm going to lean into that. Yeah. Sorry. I changed when I was doing my eye meds, and the problem is because all that's up there is connected, it just dripped down in the back of my throat. And it does not taste good. Okay, I'm fine. So, practice on yourself. Practice kindness, practice love, practice compassion. You are your own best test subject. You get immediate feedback. Is this loving? Is this kind? Is this compassion? But 2, you deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. I'm a big believer in that. It's Zydra. It's for dry eyes. Does not taste good. Okay. All right. Got it. That was kind of shocking. All right. I was somewhere in the loving, kind, and compassionate. Practice on yourself. You deserve it. You deserve your own love, your own kindness, your own compassion. Okay. The other things are the same things that I recommend all the time. Do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like. Drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important, especially in the cooler weather, because we tend to drink less and get a little dehydrated when the heat's running all the time. To get that early in your day bright light, it resets those. It's called a circadian rhythm. It's a hormone rhythm, and it is about energy and rest. So you get that bright light early in your day, you'll have more energy during the day, you'll sleep better at night. And it means if you get up before the sun does, then use artificial light. And if you get up after the sun, go get a face full of sun. Just 5-10 minutes. So, it was cold, so not much of my face was showing, but I got some. I got some. And then in the words of Ernest Holmes, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. Okay. That's what Mary Donnelson was talking about. Begin your heaven now. Begin your heaven now by recognizing who you are. Recognize that you are a beloved child of God. Recognize your divine nature. Lean into that. How do we open the windows of our soul? Spiritual practice. Look for the good and praise it. Emma gave the best advice right there. That's why I say it every day. Look for the good and praise it. There is always good. Always. All right.
Surprise.
And there goes my text message. And that just threw me off. So here we are. Okay. I guess it's the social media part where I remind you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I'm on. Please check it out. We've got good content, if not great content. And I say that because I'm one of the curators of the content and I look for really great content. If you want to know what's going on with the center, email info@creativelife.org. That will put you on, the constant contact. The hot links are hot. If they will take you either right to the information you want or to the person that can get it for you. All right. I think that's what I know. Yes. So have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanting day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God. You are a brilliant light. You are a divine spark. You are a godling. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action, in whom God is well pleased and well represented. All right? Remember that. It is about knowing who you are. You want heaven to start now? Know who you are. That's the first step. That's the first step. All right. And then start to recognize who everybody else is too, even when they're not acting like it. Oh, okay. So I guess I'm at the place where I remind you Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.